Welcome to This Week in Virginia. We're delighted to have as our very special guest Eddie Radden, community activist, as he's written up in the magazine, and a key person around the Virginia Capitol. In the last few days, I ran into any number of friends that I had not seen in a while in the Capitol. I found myself having the pleasure of talking with Mr. Eddie Radden any number of times. And thank you for coming to our office today for an interview. And my co-host, Angel Miner, has the first question. Angel?
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Thank you for being here as well, Mr. Radden. My first question for you is, what sparked your interest in activism? How did this all begin for you?
When I went to when I began Maggie Walker High School at 12 years old, I could not get on the bus or the streetcar bus. And I wasn't aware that I couldn't sit anywhere I wanted to. And I had to move to the back. I was asked to move to the back, me and my buddies, because we didn't know. I had never been on either one of them at 12 years old. My dad and father's always had a car, and we was in it there. At that early age, at 12 years old, it started us on the road. Why the guy? Go ahead and start with.
Yeah, Eddie, and that when you were 12 years old, that I'm just kind of calculating the time. That was probably the early about 1940, around that time.
1940 something when I started Walker School. Yeah, I live in South Richmond, Manchester. There, it was south side of Richmond, the other side of the James River. And I hadn't experienced anything like that because I had never been in a place really. I used to walk across the Richmond Lee Bridge to go to sing with the mass choir of Armstrong and Walker to go to a rehearsal. But we walked across there, from the school. They combined it at the city auditorium. It used to be up there where the tennis court of BCU is at now. It used to be the city auditorium. And what happened, we just became, at 12 years old, going to high school and riding the bus every day. We had to be careful where we sat. And so that started us good bad boys, I call it.
Yes.
Bad boy. And we went there, we did that for 4 or 5 years, and we learned from that, and we became like young guys, crazy guys, proud to be at Walker, proud to be in high school. But then again, we decided that we didn't like that. And so we went on to high school with that, and that was during the time, and we were activists during that time, even in the neighborhood, I think we was a little good bad boys, good bad. We went to Sunday school every Sunday. Every Sunday we was in Sunday school. Church, that was it. I don't care who you were to Sunday school on Sunday morning. And so that's kept us in there. The spiritualized. But they didn't tell us about these other things, but we just experienced. So that's the best, and we started, and we did it quite a while. March and Tower Hammer, set in places in Petersburg where we had no business sitting at the White Tower. It just was a thing that you just did. You didn't know what you were looking for, but you just did it. Until we became, as we went through high school, and after high school, we were still, became involved, and then we heard about the NAACP. It didn't pay us some time, but it was for advancement. And sometimes we get in little meetings and things. Just by being in that time, those times, you were kind of neighborhood gangs. Uptown would visit downtown. We had one school over there in the Blackwood area. At that time, it was named Dunbar after Paul Laurence Dunbar. Boy, if you've heard of it. I'm sure you have never heard of Paul Laurence Dunbar, Mr. Man. You. But what happened was going along with that and thinking what it meant. We just came out, marched on Broad Street, And later on, as the years passed, got married, 6 kids, 3 girls, 3 boys. Told the doctor no, fix her while she's here. 3 boys and 3 girls, no more. So I suppose something happened to you, Brother Radden, but it doesn't make no difference. 3 and 3 is 6. That's it. Fix the matter, you know. And so as the years went by, I became involved in NAACP, Crusade for Voters, Black Lives Matters. Without the NAACP, there would be no Black Lives Matters. I go back to some of these original. So somehow I started, and then went to march on Washington in August of 1958 or 1968. I was there. The time that Martin Luther came here in Richmond, I was at the meeting. One day we was marched down Broad Street at Fifth Baptist Church when it was down in the Navy Hill area. And what happened, they said, we're telling you on that, if we're going to march down Broad Street, if you're going to fight back, if you get hit or slap or anything, you got to resist it. And I said, and all you can't do that, y'all get up and leave right now. So me and my boys, we stayed in there. It means we were becoming disciplined and wasn't aware of it. And then I'm a very disciplined guy to a certain degree, but that's one of the things that made us move like we did. Of course, all of those guys just about gone, you know. But then we went down, we marched down Broad Street and hit, slapped, you know, but we didn't mind because we gang culture gang anyway, you know, cause uptown, stand with West End guys. We went to 2 high schools. Well, but we still had it when we went to Walker, they learned us a whole lot too. We became friends of these guys. And we went all the way through because we used to beat up the boys. The big boys used to make us beat up the other big boys from uptown. If them guys from Churchill or somewhere come on the south side, he was in trouble if he didn't know somebody. And that's why I became integrated with Churchill, West End, Fulton, and then being in the choir, you know, in the citywide choir at the time, it became, you know, it got us together. We go to high school and we never was technical. The big boys always made us beat the big boys, so therefore we never got, that's why I tried to become a boxer, because I wanted to make sure that when something. So, as I say about being a boxer, people say that you see stars. You see stars when you hit. But I didn't. But I experienced it in New York when I was 17 years old, trying to be a boxer, a little guy trying to be a boxer to defy everybody. And the guy hit me from Louisiana, which was older than I was, way more, hit me, and I saw little dots, white dots. Damn, I'm on. If it wasn't for the bell, I'd have been gone. I mean, you know, because it's not stars, it was a white dot. And then the second time I got hit out in Richmond, boxing. And I got hit, I saw stars again. My mom says, you are not boxing anymore. So I had to give up boxing, try something else. But that was really, but I was always stayed in the movement. Stayed in the movement, became a part of the NAACP, became a part, and the Crusade for Voters, anything that would move me forward, I would move forward. Then I came involved in other things too, you know what I mean? Which just made me keep on going, not for prestige or anything, just to move forward, even over in the Black neighborhood. It's named the Blackwood neighborhood now, but I'm trying to get a plaque. At first, I started off with a statue. But I said, I better not do that. After I met with Dr. Wagner during that historical moment, they want to change it from, they want kind of everything to be called Manchester, Virginia. Manchester was annexed to Richmond in 1910. So they became not Manchester, Virginia, it became Richmond. But everybody seemed like they wanted to try and change it. I was in that kind of movement. So I said to myself, we need some kind we don't have no signs or anything that recognize the Blackwood area. as I go to a part of the cemetery, twins, me and a gentleman was on a commission on the Slave Trade Commission. Me and him went to started going to the cemeteries. Then we found out we had to do a whole lot of research, and we did. And along with the cemetery leaders and things, we found out more than I ever thought. I didn't want to become involved in all this stuff no more. I'm just too old to be too old at that time, but it became so interesting. That's why I said we needed a marker over in Blackwell area, denoting that he was a great man in 1910, Dr. D.H. Blackwood Sr. His son, as you read in the Richmond paper news, you'll find out that his son, Dr. J.H. Blackwood Jr., vaccinated me when I started going to Dunbar School. They had to be vaccinated. And I've been being vaccinated ever since. Anytime there's a vaccination, let me have it. What it is. When I went to Africa a year before last, all them Ebola shots, this shot. When they said that's all right with me. So I tell anybody, get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. I know what I've had, whooping cold, all that stuff, measles, whooping cold, mumps, you name it. I am going, when I go to the doctor again, I am going to take a shingle shot. Because after a friend of mine had it and I saw how bad it was, I was scared to take it, and it was crazy not to take it. And all these years, I just been afraid. But the next appointment, I am going to take my shingle shot. And I think I'll be having all except one more. I'm not going to discuss it because I had no involvement in there anyway. Well, I just want to say HIV. I wasn't involved in it, so how in the world why should I take the test? But then again, this vaccine shots now making me think anytime I have to go from way back to shingle shot, I take a vaccine. I take any kind of vaccine that would keep me from having it. Because it's out there. But if you're involved in certain culture, why should you take something that you don't know that you are not involved in the big culture? So therefore, it's true. I don't take everything else. You got any more that you know of any more that I should take? Yeah.
Well,
I believe it.
Let me give you a chance to say another word about vaccinations, because as we all know, there's a significant number of people that aren't taking any of this vaccination against COVID. And out of your wisdom and your good long life that you've lived, say another word to encourage people, maybe even here in Richmond, who haven't gotten that vaccination.
Yes, haven't got it. Now I encourage. I have one or two members in my family, my grandchildren, one or two of them, a boy in his 20s. She's not taking it. And I'm trying to be as nice and it is, saying, look, take the vaccine shot. I'm a living example of what shots do prevent you from getting involved in certain disease. Anybody who should have any anchoring, take the vaccine shot. It's not going to hurt you. Look, I'm 93 years old. I done took them all. You name it. Even in Africa, I took them all. So look at me. I'm 93 years old, but don't you believe that thing I said earlier, just a joke that I carry with me. Is that the embalming fluid? Don't you believe it? Now, everybody knew it. Even the undertakers knew it, that I be kids. They didn't know that. But anyway, the vaccine shots, it's good for you.
Right.
And I try to tell my family. Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking one thing that I've never heard you talk about some, and be interested in your talk about your trip to Africa. What was that about?
I just want to explore. I have a fiance who is 90 years old. It's always been an idea to go back to Africa. She's been there 6 times, and I asked her why she didn't stay over there then. Her husband was a traveler with the Coast Guard, and he had been there, and he promised her that she always go back. He passed away a long time ago. And she's always had desire to say, I'm going back. Now, if the pandemic ain't come along, we were going back anyway because it was a quite exciting trip. I sat in the boat over in Ghana, I sat in the boat where the slaves were in the boat. I walked through the seas, the thing that was there, they had covered that stuff up. Took pictures over there, and they made me a chief over there. They made me a chief, made her a queen and me a chief. There were pictures taken of that when they did. And everywhere I went, Du Bois, I didn't have any idea, much research as I do, I didn't have any idea Du Bois was buried over there. I went to his thing, and amazing. I went to the place where, Africa. I go back and not stay. I said, if I go over there, I'm gonna carry you over there and leave you. I know we engaged, but I'm going to leave you there. You can stay there, but I'm not going back. I am an American citizen, born here, bred here, know everything. They speak English just like I do, but they honored me quite. I've never seen anything like that. To me, I said, look, wait a minute. I work at the General Assembly. You what? You working at Virginia Seminary? Oh, Virginia? What's so significant? But that's a capital of the Confederacy. That's what one of the people told me. Yeah, so what? That was a time. But they made me a chief before that. Made me a chief and her a queen and named me Kume. That's my African name. Kume. Yeah, Kume. Everywhere I went to all the festivals, I appreciate it, but I didn't need, I just come over there because I wanted to just see what's going on. And that's me being a partially crazy historian to some degree. I just like to research some things, to prove. But when over there, I went to Cape Cod. It was a traumatic experience, and as soon as I got off that plane in Washington, I cut it off right there. Because the nights that I was there up in the mountains, I met some great people. The doctor, he got a hospital over there, clinic. I met some great people over there, not that I remember them all. And at the time, I did not realize, being so busy, didn't realize that NAACP was over there. Some of the NAACP was over there, and I just got there, and I didn't. That's why not knowing iPhone and computer and all these things. But it was quite a trip. I stayed over there, I think, 2 weeks, and I saw some amazing things. But I do not want to, nothing personal, but I do not want to live in Africa. They still do. Kids, their marketplace, they still carry things on at their marketplace. Still do the same thing they've been doing over the years. Lovely place, and many cars, everywhere I went. It was just amazing. But to go there, because I haven't even seen all of Richmond, I haven't seen a whole lot. But I would love to go back again just to see some things that I missed. I seen a wall of all the Americans that came there and did accomplish things. They have a wall over it of all the great leaders and things of Africa, not of Africa, and some that was in the United States. They have Martin Luther King's photo over there. They have I don't want to go too far back in my memory because I might, like I told you, the brain have a tendency to tell me, watch, fellow.
Angel, did you have another question that you want to?
Yes. What is one of your fondest memories of a project that you worked on? or any fond memory that you still treasure?
Well, a fond memory, I was there in Washington, D.C. at the August 28th. It was August, in August 28th, and Martin Luther made his famous speech. I was there. I was amazed. I was given the Presidential Award at NAACP. I don't know for what. You know what I mean. But, I got that award. I've got so many things that really don't, it's really, to me, they mean a whole lot, but they're really still, it's like in Proverbs, Solomon said, Ecclesiastes, that all of it is vain. So you do what you can while you can. While you're here, you do all you can while you can. And like I said, you don't look for no fame. You don't need it, because you're satisfied with where you are in life, that you are at 93 years old and still trying to reach out. And when I'm not doing this, I'll be going back to feeding the guys on the corner. Me and her, but making sandwiches one time and fix it up, and I'll give it to the guys on the corner. I didn't touch them. I just handed out the one to them. I go down and go to the Coliseum and carry 30 and 40 package, go up on Sears and Roebuck where they are, and carry food to them. I just do that. I got to keep moving. My body said, don't tell me not to get in. Don't mess with your mind and your brain. Just let them keep me moving. I'm going to stay out there arguing. Do you understand that what I'm trying to phase up there? Do you understand that I'm trying to phase that up? The brain, the mind, and the body. They're the controlling factors in one's life, everybody's life. But I have broken down to deal with me. I tell them, brain tell me, no, you're not the head. No, the creator of the universe is the head of my life. And my instruction, the way he lead me, I know that I'm contrary to some of the things he said, but I am a sinner, saved by grace, a loyal Christian, Sunday school superintendent, lead the whole district of Washington, Virginia district, head of the, and that's as far as the church is concerned. But my greatest joy is the Presidential Award from the president of the Richmond NAACP for the work that I've done. And the Crusade for Voters. These things don't really, they're all right. But what's going to happen to them after I go? And I don't plan to go nowhere.
Yeah, right.
They say a man born of woman is but a few days and full of the troubles, or full of trouble. And as soon as we begin to live, at that moment, we begin to die. So teach us to number our days. Did you have another question?
Yes, my last
I've had quite experience. I've had quite some experience. I can't, it's just 2 minutes. Just ask me another question. I can answer.
What has and what continues to influence you? I know you said that you walked in Richmond when Martin Luther King was here. So how was that? How did that influence you to continue doing what you're doing today, and other influences?
Because I believe in his dream. I believe in Martin Luther King's dream. I believe what my mother and father encouraged me when I was superintendent of Sunday school, by being in the church all my life. All that have influenced my decision to move forward. In Genesis, you will find out, I'm not giving you a lecture, but in Genesis, you'll find out each day he did something different. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he created everything. He said that was good. So like I called him Dr. Bale. I told him yesterday, the cow eat the grass. The grass comes from the earth. And you know that in the Bible it says, I think I'll make me a man. The creator reached down and grabbed up the dust on earth and created man. Right? Uh-huh. That's what he did, from the earth. The cow eats the grass, right? and we milk the cow. Mama give us the milk. A man takes the milk. All wisdom come from on high. Can't say it just on his own, because all of it come. The milk is made into silk milk, almond milk. You see what I mean? What do they do? Man, wisdom, all wisdom come, everything, nothing new under the sun. The man take the carrots, the cabbage, the salad, all this, and put them in there. You know how y'all churn the stuff together? All that vitamin A in this, vitamin D in this, vitamin this, milk in this, and vitamin D in that. You mix all that stuff together and you create a little pill. Multiple vitamins, but it don't have all the vitamins. Now think about that. The cow got his food from earth. And we are living creatures because all of us really basically, let me stop, Dr. Bill. You know me. But I was just trying to show some basic things to like, you know, the cow and the milk. And then they made turn it called silk milk, almond milk, this kind of milk, buttermilk. Butter comes from the cheese. But you got to go to Genesis and find all of this is true. And I'm not a preacher, I'm a layman. But I've been through the cycle of Sunday school, leader, and things of that nature. It makes me, I'm not a minister, but we all are ministers of some sort. So I've been through this so much. They asked me, why don't I write a book? How can I write a book with all this church, the fraternal? I'm a Mason, been in Mason for 50-some years. In Masonry. Been in it 50-some years, so that played a part in my life too. Church, the fraternal organization, these fraternal organizations have made like I post one day, Black Lives Matter true. My t-shirt said all lives matter. That's what I wear. But if it wasn't for the interception of the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, there wouldn't be no Black Lives Matter. Years ago, they tried to change it, colored people. No, we are all people of color. We are all people of color. So I was one of them fighters on that line. No, because we are people of color. The people of the universe. So therefore, the NAACP means a whole lot to me because I realized where it was going. Anyway, just ask me because I could go on. Now, Reverend Bailey can tell you I go on and on.
Well, Mr. Eddie Radden, this is really phenomenal. And we want our viewers to experience more because this is a unique opportunity. And so we're going to thank them for being at this episode of This Week in Virginia. And then we're going to get them to tune in again because in just a moment, I want to start asking you about the General Assembly of Virginia and about your connection there. So we thank you. We thank you so much. And you have a great day, and you've certainly given us a great experience today. So thank you, sir.